and welcome to another beginner's Pilates class. So I hope you're ready to go today. We're going to run through a few different moves, but I want to start with just having the feet underneath the hips, just relaxing down through the knees, relaxing through the shoulders, and just find your Pilates breath, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. Lovely. Letting the ribs, the lungs, the stomach expand on the inhale and draw it all back in on your exhale. Lovely. Breathing in, I want you to lift your right arm up over your head. Lovely. Lifting, lengthening through the side of the body. As you exhale, we come over into a side bend. Try not to pop the hips. We just want to focus this stretch into the upper body on that right side. Lovely. Coming back up into the centre, let's change sides. Breathing in to lift, breathing out to side bend. Good. Feeling that stretch into the side of the body. I'm going to come up into the centre. Now I want you to come and bring your hands so that they're facing each other, fingers face each other in the centre. It takes some rotations. So, hips stay facing the front all the time on this move. We breathe in. As we breathe out, we're just going to rotate round to one side. Coming back into the centre. And again, rotating round to the other side. And into the centre. Good. Take this at a pace that feels right for you, but I want you to keep those hips facing the front. So we know that we're going to get all of the work into the spine. And we're not just moving our body from side to side. Good. Keep an eye on the hips. You might find that keeping the hips still means you can't rotate round quite as far. Again, that's fine. We're working within our own range and our own mobility. Good. We're going to take one more each side. Good. Coming into the centre, relax your arms down. I'm going to think about the feet and the legs this time. So I want you to try and come up onto your toes. So you're going to lift the heels and then place them back down. So we go heel lift and relax. Lift. It might take a little while just to find your balance here. You might need to use your arms for a little bit. It might be a small heel lift, or you might find that you can come all the way up onto those toes. Either way is fine. Work within your own range. See what your balance is doing as well. Ooh, she says, falling over. Your balance will be different every day. So some days you might find that you can really easily come up onto the toes. Other days you might feel like you're just wobbling about all over the place. So don't worry about that. But we want to make sure we're going straight up and straight back down. So we're not leaning the body forward. Once we lean forward, that's when we start to lose the balance. Lovely. And you might feel this starting to kick in the backs of your legs, particularly your calves. You might start to feel a little bit of a burn in there. We're going to go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Ooh, give your legs a little shake. Come to the end of your mat. We're going to take some roll downs. We'll roll out through that spine. Feet under hips. Relax the shoulders. Drawing the belly in, spine is long. Chin parallel to the floor, looking out in front of you. Breathing in. As you breathe out, tuck the chin. Start to roll down through the spine. Rolling those shoulders forwards. And we're going to come all the way down. As far as your body will allow. See how this feels for you. Do you need to bend your knees? Can you straighten your legs? Are your hands on the floor or are they lifted? Either way is fine. It's just working within your own range. Try and relax in your upper body. And then we're going to roll all the way back up. Keep your belly lifted. Roll it up. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Rolling up through each section of the spine. Bring the shoulders back when you get to the top. Breathe in again. Breathe out, let's roll down. Draw the belly in. Lift it up as you roll over. Once you've come down as far as you can, you're going to roll all the way back up. Relax the shoulders, relax the arms, relax the muscles in the neck and the head. Let's go again. Lovely, hopefully feeling that loosening up in the back of the body. You might find that you're able to come down a little bit lower each time. Let's go one more. Exhaling to come down. And then roll it back up. Lovely, nice big shoulder roll when you get to the top. And then just come into the middle of your mat. Come and lie down. So onto your back, feet on the floor, knees are bent. Relax your arms down by your sides. Now I want you to gently draw in through your belly, scooping in and up. If you need a visual, imagine there's a zip at the bottom of your pelvis. We're going to take that zip, we're going to zip all the way up to our ribs. So we're drawing everything in, zipping it inside the body. And we want to keep the ribs down as well. So we're not flaring the ribs out. Try and keep them inside the body. Let's think about drawing down towards the floor. So feet are on the floor, knees bent, feet in line with our hips. We're going to come into some knee folds. So we're going to take your right knee and lift it up in line with your hip. Then you're going to take that foot back down onto the floor and do the same thing on the other side. Good. So we lift and lower, alternating legs. Now we bring that knee up in line with the hip. It's not coming all the way in towards the chest. We want that nice 90-degree angle at the knee. Now if you're anything like me, you find that your knees always want to click just in these first few. I want you to keep control of those legs. So don't let that knee come past your hip. And really what we're thinking about in this move is pelvic stability. And what we mean by that is that your pelvis isn't wobbling about all over the place as we do this move. You might get a little bit of movement because the likelihood is our pelvis isn't going to be symmetrical. But on the whole, we shouldn't be really rocking about from side to side. And you might be able to feel what your pelvis is doing. If you can't or you're not sure, come and place your hands onto your pelvis. So heel of the hand onto the hip bones, fingers onto the pubic bone. Creating a little triangle shape on top of the pelvis. And just see how much you're moving around. Might be not at all, it might just be a little bit. But we're not here for too much longer. Final 6. See what that pelvis is doing. Are you having to work really hard to keep it still? 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Keep those feet on the floor. We're going to bring your hands, so your fingers are at your temples, at the side of the head. Now we're going to take a few abdominal curls. So from here, we're still scooping in through the belly, still keeping the ribs inside the body. As you breathe in, tuck the chin. As you breathe out, lift up into a crunch position. If you can, you're going to hold at the top to breathe in, and then breathe out to come on down. Breathe in tuck the chin. Breathe out to lift. Breathe in to stay. Breathe out to come back down. So you can take this at your own pace. Keep the elbows nice and wide. If you have trouble with your neck, if it aches easily, you've got existing injuries, take your hands up behind the head just to give it a little bit of support. But again, we want to make sure that our abdominals are doing the work here and that you're not pulling on your neck to lift yourself up. So keep those elbows wide. Lovely. We're going for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Good. When we get to the bottom, this time we're going to add on a little diagonal movement. So we're going to start to come into the obliques, which are these muscles at the side of the body. So this time, we're going to tuck the chin, we come back up into that crunch. But when you get there, you're going to think about drawing opposite elbow over towards opposite knee. Come back into the centre, we relax it down. We lift up into the crunch, opposite elbow to opposite knee. Back to centre and down. So again, move at a pace that feels right for you. Good. Now once we've got the hang of the movement, what I actually want you to think about is taking your ribs over to your opposite knee. Because what tends to happen is we come up into that crunch and all we do is move our elbow from side to side instead of actually getting a full twist into the upper body. So we want that full twist, so we really come into those obliques. Remember to keep breathing. In at the bottom, exhale to lift. Lovely. You are nearly there. Promise. Keep the belly drawn in. Let's take one more each side. Good. Last one. Lovely. Relax at the bottom. Bring your arms down by your sides. Now we're going to stay with the abdominals. Slightly different move. I want you to, if you can, come and bring both of your knees up into tabletop. So that 90-degree bend at the knee. We're going to bring our knees and our feet together. Keep that bend in the knees. Now your arms, I want you to hover off of the floor, but your fingertips are reaching towards your feet. Tuck in your chin, and we're going to lift up into a crunch position. So this is where we want to start. And we're going to come into a move called hundreds. So from here, all I want you to do is start pumping your arms up and down, nice and quick. Now, if you find that this is a bit too much, you can come and place your feet back down onto the floor. That's your option. Otherwise, we're going to keep the knees up in tabletop, and we're going to keep pumping the arms. Nice, strong movement that comes from the shoulder, and it's a nice straight arm. So we keep pumping the arms. Option, if you want to, is to extend the legs out. It's going to make it a little bit trickier. And we focus on the breath. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. Ooh, if you felt that in your neck, just take your head from side to side. Have a little bit of a release. Lovely. Now I'm going to come and roll over onto your side. Now there are a couple of options here. You can extend your arm out and come and rest your head down on the top of your arm, or you can come and rest head in hand if you prefer to be propped up slightly. It doesn't matter either way, it's personal preference. So we're going to start with our legs nice and long. So our body's in one nice long straight line. And then we just take your feet and just bring them very slightly forward, more towards the corner of your mat, front corner of your mat. So we're in slightly more of a banana shape, which is going to help us with our balance a little bit. So this is our side lying leg lift. I want you to draw in through the belly, and ideally we want a little bit of a gap underneath the ribs. So to do that, you can either lift up off the floor, or if that doesn't quite feel right for you mechanically, then your hips, this top hip, think about drawing it down and away from the body. And that'll still create that little gap as well. We want to try and keep that gap throughout this move. Belly draws in. Top leg, I want you to lift and lower. So this is a controlled movement. Really, we only need to lift the leg up in line with the hip, maybe a little bit higher. What we're not looking to do is lift the leg up as high as we can. Firstly, we're going to lose our gap under our ribs and our waist, but also we're not really going to target the muscles that we're looking to target. This is about building strength and endurance. It's not about flexibility and how high you can lift your leg, which is good for me. My hips are not particularly flexible. So we're going to keep lifting and lowering. Now what you'll probably find is this will get into your glute, into the side of your hip. You might feel it travel down your leg as well, maybe down towards the knee. If that's the case, that is absolutely fine. Don't worry about that. And you might feel that this burn kicks in quite quickly. These are supporting muscles on the side of the leg. So they probably don't get as much attention as they should. Find your breath. It might be that you breathe in with your feet together and you breathe out to lift. Maybe the other way around. See how it feels for you. Good. Now this is probably starting to kick in. We're not going to be here for too much longer. We've just got 4, 3, 2, last one. Oh, and you can relax that leg down. Sometimes helps to give it just a little bit of a punch or a rub, which gets that initial ache out of the way. And then we're going to come up and over and do the same thing on the other side. So flip round. However it feels comfortable for your head and your hand, you can lay all the way down if you would rather. We're going to start with a nice long straight line, hips are stacked, knees are stacked, and then we're just going to take the feet a little bit further forward into our banana shape. And finding that gap underneath the waist, so either lifting up or taking this top hip, drawing it down and away from the body. Lovely. Now we've found our balance, top leg, lift and up. Good. Just getting into the rhythm. You might find that one side it kicks in a little bit quicker than the other. And throughout this move, we want to keep our breath going, but we also want to make sure that we're keeping these hips stacked one on top of the other. Now what we don't want as we lift and lower the leg is to roll about on this hip. So we don't want it to be rolling back and forth. So you might want to place your hand onto that top hip, just to see what it's doing. See if you are moving about. If you are, you might find that you're just taking your leg a little bit too high, so just try and bring it back down a little bit and keep control of the movement. And if we can get these supporting muscles strengthened, that's just really going to help us in our daily life. And a lot of Pilates is about that functional movement, you know, helping us with things we do on a day-to-day basis. Might be feeling this now already. We've not got too much longer to go. Keep drawing in through those abdominals. They're going to help you all the time in a lot of these moves. Nice bit of support. For your final 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax that leg down. I need to give it a little bit of a punch. Well done. Come over onto your front. Now we need to prop yourself up on your forearms. So your elbows are roughly in line with the shoulders. Good. Legs are nice and long. I'm going to come into some single leg kicks. So with your right leg, I just want you to draw it in towards your bum and you're going to pulse. So you're going to pulse for 1, 2, then extend. 1, 2, other leg, extend. So we're going to change sides all the time. Just add in that little pulse. Press down through the forearms. So we're nice and lifted out through the shoulders, through the chest. Now this might not feel like much of a move to start with, but it's actually a really good one. So getting a little bit of a stretch into our back with the position of our upper body. And a little bit of work into the legs without it being too intense. And we're going to breathe out, out, as we pulse. And extend. Good. Nice and lifted. We're not going to be here for too long. You might feel this into those hamstrings a little bit, maybe across the front of the leg, into your quad. You can enjoy the lovely trees behind me. Quite a nice move. Lovely. And you go 1 more each side. Good. And then I want you to come and rest the upper body down onto the mat. Come and take your right hand, take hold of your right foot. And just draw it in towards the body. Get a nice stretch into the front of the hip. And into the quad. Lovely, keep drawing in. And let go of that leg, let's extend away and change sides. Left hand, left foot. Gently drawing in towards the body, just as far as it feels comfortable to go. Nice big stretch. Gently releasing. We're going to bring our hands underneath our shoulders and push back into our child's pose. So bring yourself up, bend your knees. Bring the toes together. Knees nice and wide, sit back into a child's pose. Reaching those arms nice and long and coming and resting your head down on the mat if that feels comfortable for you. And just feeling that stretch through the body. If you want to feel more into your hips, take your knees wider. And if you want to feel it more into your back, then reach your hands further away. And move your hips from side to side a little bit as well. Feeling a bit more of a stretch into the hip. Good. And we're just going to lift the head, start to bring the hands in towards the body, coming all the way up. And that is the end of your class today. Really hope you enjoyed it and look forward to seeing you on your next video.